Scale Model Studios. I feel like I should say that again because last time I did that, YouTube cut off the intro because it's recording from a live. But my name's Rob. This is Cattle Rabbit Scale Model Studios. In this video, and the reason why I'm doing a live video is I'm going to show you how I have been magnetizing my head options for the Lion. Like, this is really, really easy to do. I've done some of them already, as you can see. Like, it is really, really easy to do. There's a few parts we do need to just talk about first because obviously it's what's going to affect it. The parts are 1, 10 and 13 on the actual instructions. I've got it all here, which is the chest plate. It's this kind of half of his back. And then we have this cape section here. I've glued one of the extra folds on for the minute, but I'll do the other one a little bit later. And what we need to do is, see, I'm gonna show you how I've been doing these with the big helmet head. This is the one that I'll probably paint up first. This is the one I want my Lion to have. Big hats all the way with Dark Angels. So I'm just gonna unclip him. Let me just move these guys to the magnet. And then the part we actually are really interested in is this one here. It's part 16. This is where his head options actually sit. And as you can see, we've got like a bit of a small cutout here. And the way it goes together, and what I'm going to do, I haven't clipped this out just yet. I'm not going to trim anything up just yet either. But I did want to obviously do it. The reason why I'm doing a live is just because it was really easy to do. I never magnetize anything. I've got these magnets. I've had them absolute years. I don't know what size they are. They're quite strong. So you are going to need some magnets. I think these might be like a 4mm. I think magnets are done on the thickness as opposed to the diameter. I'm not sure if anyone knows about magnets or is a big magnet enthusiast. Please let me know in the comments or anything. Dean, how are you today? Thank you very much for popping in. Look, just so you can see how strong this actually is. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to, and I'll just show you here. If I hold this magnet just like this and I get one of these heads, because we've got that small little divot, it just easy. If I hold that in place and I pull the head up, job done. Now there actually isn't another magnet in this head, but you can see those little silver pins. They're paper clips, and that's how I've been doing it. So what I'm going to do to begin with, because you know, no matter which head we go for, you know, I got to admit I like all these heads. I know there was a bit of a, I would say, controversy. People didn't like the old man lion head. I think it looks great. So as you can see here, you know, there's I think that's a bit of a fan favorite, the helmeted hood one, but it just, you know, and it's just a head. It's really easy to do. What I will do first is I'm just going to show you how I'm going to alter this. Now, the reason why I pointed out these bits first is because of how it goes together. So what you would normally have is this section kind of just sits like this. And then this back bit goes obviously onto here. So actually we don't need to bother about this bit at all at the moment. What we're going to do is we're just going to just line him up. So he kind of goes like there is where he's going to go. Obviously there's a little bit of a gap, but once again, we're not really interested in that. We're more interested in, you know, where the magnet's going to attach. And what actually happens is two little slots just here, and this piece literally just sits in there, as you can see. So what I'm actually going to do, because it doesn't interfere with anything, obviously looking at the front piece, it kind of sits there, that little collar. Once again, we've got loads of room there. So what I'm going to do, and there's a few, I'll talk about the things that we're going to do. You are going to need some paper clips. These are just little thin paper clips. I get these from work. I think they're about a 1mm thickness. You will need a pin drill. I spoke about these before when I did my one for drilling gun barrels and stuff like that, and lots of people have seen me use these in converting videos and stuff like that. You will need some super glue. This is really, really dirt cheap super glue. The nozzle snapped off. I use it for all my, I guess, messy jobs. It's cost me £1 from the local discount store. It's great. All right, you end up sticking your fingers together, but do you know what? For what we need today, so it's perfect. And the other thing is a file. Once again, I've had these years. This is a bastard file, they call it. It's got a coarser teeth on it, which is great. And the first thing we're going to do, obviously with our magnets as well, you need magnets. Is we're just going to get this little section here, because although the magnet is strong enough to, it's like magic, to pull the heads together, if we file it, we can actually make the magnet sit a lot flatter. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to file this. This is optional. Like, don't get me wrong, you could just get a load of green stuff or like milliput and build a little well around it, super glue it on, build him and be done with it. However, I'm not going to be building all mine just yet. And you can see, just if we catch it in the light there, we're starting to get a nice flat base. So it doesn't take long to do. We kind of want it to be as flat as possible, as it's just going to help, you know. And then the next thing to do is grab a magnet. Now, there's a way these go round, and I can never remember which way they are. So the best way of doing it is make sure that obviously you're holding it, that goes together, snaps on quite nicely there. So you know what, we're going to go with that. What's the worst that can happen? And all I'm going to do to begin with, just on my magnet, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of super glue. That's if the hole hasn't clogged up. I don't think it has. Okay, it might have. So we're going to put that face up. This is the problem with cheap super glue, I find. You know, it's great to have it. There we go. So once again, I am just going to double check. I did say that was face up, didn't I? Yeah, there we go. So that's the side. That's real good. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of super glue. I can hear some of the cats fighting in the background. I've got a big ginger Tom called Ollie, and he's my oldest boy, and he's grumpy because he's normally, oh my god, nothing's coming out all the time. But because the weather's so bad in the UK at the moment, again, sick of this weather, I really am. He hates being inside, and he's fine when it's, you know, in the sun and he can come and go as he pleases. But at the moment, he's just so angry about having to be in all the time. He hates it. Okay, that's definitely it. Once again, right, that's the side we're going to stick. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there, because what we want is to just get it over there. And we're just going to move it back ever so slightly. And the next thing we're going to do, we're just going to check to make sure it doesn't interfere with anything. Once again, the magnet will kind of sit inside the model like that. Nice and clear. And we can kind of check this already to make sure, you know, we haven't messed anything up, because the heads obviously sit quite nicely in there. That is probably the, I guess, I'd say fiddliest part. I don't know. There we go. But so how did I actually magnetize the heads? Well, it's really easy. We still need this, so don't, you know, like bin it or anything like that. Looking at the head itself, you can see that we've kind of got this nice little divot. And all I do is I take my pin drill, and all I'm going to do is just at the back here, just by the pin, I'm going to just start drilling into his head. What we want eventually, because the actual moulding is hollow, you'll feel the drill slide right in and it will hit the top of his head on the inside. Don't worry if that happens. You haven't gone through or anything like that. Just keep at it. But what I'm doing, as you can see here, I've kind of got him angled. So I'm always drilling into like a center point just to make sure I don't accidentally, like, you know, come out of one side. So just be aware of the direction you're drilling and just keep going with it. If you're getting a little bit worried, pull out, and you can see that we've only gone in that far, so don't worry too much. You don't need a lot in here. So look, there we go. It's just gone all the way in. So we've actually gone right through and we've hit the top of the moulding. I do another one just next to it, which is just here. Same again. I'm going to drill in at an angle. And I'm just going to keep drilling until I hit, once again, I've gone all the way through and I hit the top of the inside of the head. You won't go through, as I said, don't worry, you know, but you feel the resistance on the, like the pin drill. There we go. And then all of a sudden it just goes, you know, all the way through, which is great. So there we go. And then same again. And what I am going to do, same way I do the bolt guns when I want to be a bit more accurate, I want one on this little pin here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my hobby knife, I'm going to make a point and I'm going to twist my knife. You've got to have a really sharp blade for this because we want to make a little starting guide for the drill bit. And then same again, we're just going to go in. You can see the angle I'm at there, at there. And I'm just going to go in. So 3 holes, that's all we've made. You could probably get away with just one at the front. It depends how like secure you want. I just think like maybe if he's knocked over during a game, you know, the head's not going to fall off with 3 on there. It might with 1, but you know what? If you're interchanging them, I don't think it really matters. So same again, I might just go for a bit more with that one actually, because I'm only there. So a little bit more, we've got a bit more play. There we go. All it needed was a bit more and we've gone all the way through. Then it is literally a case of getting your paper clips. Obviously these are really helping themselves here. Must keep all that separate. All I'm going to do, I'm going to bend it out just like that. I'm going to get our cheap super glue. And I'm just going to put some, God, this really is knackered, this stuff. Just round, is that coming out or is it clogged again? Oh my goodness. Let me just take some of that off. Well, it's definitely not clogged because my fingers are sticking to it. So just once again, always be careful with what you're doing with this. I might have to bust out a new one. Do you know what? I think this is my longest serving one as well. I go through this stuff so quickly. It's just not having it. So right, let's forget that for the sake of this becoming the Rob's unclogging super glue episode. There we go. Right. I mean, you can hear, I don't know whether you can hear that. It's so watery, this stuff. And literally all I'm going to do, just put some super glue on there. And then being a liquid, it will kind of seep in around it. And this is what we're actually going to stick it in. Then I just get a pair of nippers, nice and flat against it. You might need to be a bit, there we go. Hey, where did that go? And then we're just going to repeat the process for the doing it. And you have to write, yeah, honestly, like I said, I don't magnetize anything. I've had these magnets in my drawer for years. I don't even remember where I picked them up from or why I even bothered buying them, because I never magnetize anything. And I was looking at the way he goes together, and it's really clever with that top plate, how it just kind of sits in there. And I thought, do you know what? And in like little brainwave, I was like, oh, do you know what? I think I've got magnets. I wonder how difficult it would be. And then I originally looked and was like, oh, but you know, will I have to like drill out a big chunk of this? How's it going to sit flat? And, you know, will I get the base of that magnet? Because that's all I've got in there. And I was like, well, hang on a minute. I might not actually need a magnet. And I was just mucking about. And in my little drawer right in front of me, I've got some paper clips. And I was like, that'll do it. So we're just going to, careful cutting when cutting these, they do ping off. Like that. So let's just, before this leaks everywhere. So as you can see, when you, it's quite difficult. When you cut this stuff, you can just see this little bit of paperclip here is just sitting a little bit too proud. Once again, you can get your file, and all I do is literally just file it back. It won't take long. Just try and go with the shape of the head. So it's on a slight curve. You know when you've done it because it stops making that kind of grating noise against the metal. Like there, you can hear it. There you go. We're not catching any metal there at all, hardly. So that's it. So a little test. We're there. So if we actually get our little plate now, which is there, voila. That's it. Obviously, if you did want to put more holes in, you probably could. I don't think it needs to, you know, be that much, especially if you're going to be taking these off and changing heads, you know, quite often. But that's literally all there is to it. Because of that little divot that's at the front, the head's always going to line up. You might just need to, you know, just knock it into shape. And there we go. That is all 4 head options magnetized, ready to use. And like I said, when you actually go to build it, see the back sits there. Everything's like not in the way of the actual like chest. So in actual fact, once this bit goes on, once again, there should be a piece in between this, so it's a little bit fiddly. It just kind of sits in there like that. Like there. Ah, now I didn't know that the halo is affected by that. So let's have a quick look and find out. Oh yeah, so there is an option. So if you go for that one. Now, the halo doesn't look like, so it's optional. Now that is interesting. I actually didn't realise that. Where are his sprues? Just here. Let's have a look, shall we? We might be able to work something out. So there's the halo. And there's his backpack. Now, the problem we're going to have with this is that the backpack doesn't actually have anywhere to kind of drill into. Like, it's not hollow. So that will probably be an issue. Now, you can either just leave it off, or what would be to see the problem you're going to have is that's too thin to drill into. So I would probably say, in all honesty, and this is probably just what I will do, is that I'm not going to bother magnetizing that. What I probably will do is I might just literally push it together with a little bit of blue tack. Yeah, no, honestly, spot on. There we go. Great minds think alike. I'm not going to lie. I did that with the Brutalis because, you know, all the arms move and stuff like that. But do you know what? I thought rather than have it, if I just casually twist, 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 twist. It's just blue tack together Like, I'm not going to pin it and spend all that time doing it. It's good enough to, you know, to hold, especially on the tabletop or just sitting on a shelf. Mine are just sitting in front of me. So I think a little tiny strip of blue tack. I mean, I don't know whether, I mean, that little bit there is just so thin. I mean, whether you could just, I guess, dig out like a little tiny, almost like channel in there and just literally put stuff the blue tack into it. Might work, but that's, you know, probably what I will do is just a little bit of blue tack. I honestly don't think that's gonna be doable for me. Once again, I don't magnetize a lot of stuff. It's just that I really liked. It's my first Primark model. I want to do a good job, so that's what I will probably do. So look, I generally hope that helps people with a magnet. I'll definitely try and find where I got these from. I honestly don't remember, but I'm pretty sure the Army Painter do magnets. I'm sure they do. I know Green Stuff World do magnets, so there's a real good choice there. I'll put that in the description below. Yeah, as I say, it just seems, I mean, I know you can get magnetic paint, so I don't know whether it's worth, I mean, just for one tiny part, investing in it, and then maybe you could drill up, but you'd have to be really precise. You'd have to kind of get the drill, you know, right in there, because obviously you're not going to see it, to the point where the magnet is sitting in there, a little bit of the magnetic paint on there. It might work. I don't know, if I'm honest with you. I've never used the stuff. I know people do use it. We've got some in the office. You paint walls on it and it acts like a blackboard. You can throw magnets on it and stuff like that. We use it all the time. But I don't know whether, you know, it would work for that, or it would even be, you know, strong enough. You need quite a lot of it, so on a little tiny strip. So yeah, but no, I don't magnet. I will try and find out. I'll just link some. I think Green Stuff World's probably the better option there. They do tons of stuff, and do you know what? They're really nice people. So yeah, I think we'll go with that. Some paper clips, some super glue. All right, you do need a pin drill. You don't actually have to use the pin drill. I've just used drill bits before. It hurts your hands quite a lot. I wouldn't advise doing it, but you can actually wrap a little bit of like tape around it to make like a little thumbprint and just constantly turn it. If you don't have one of these, drill bits are a couple of quid. Make sure they are HSS, which is high speed steel, for drilling wood and metal. It will go through plastic. Here I'm using a 1mm, and obviously make sure that you are using the appropriate size paper clip. Obviously bigger paper clips tend to be thicker. They're about 1.5mm. Sad and nerdy that I know that, but anyway, yeah, that's it. The only thing I might do, and I say I might do because I mean that seems to have got quite a good hold, and to be fair, these don't pull on the magnet, you know, nearly as much as you would think, and you can see that, you know, from there they snap in really nicely. But I might just put, when I mount it on like his chest, for example, he sits like that. I might cut a bit of sprue and I might glue it like this way down, so there's no chance of the magnet ever coming loose. And if it did come loose by any chance, the sprue would actually stop it from moving anywhere. So I might just glue it a little, like almost like a cross beam, just to be safe and sorry. But that is it. Obviously the actual drilling and the pin, it's really quick. But that's how, you know, I'm going to do it. But look, that is it for me right now. I am back in about, what is the time now? 6:24. I'm back in just over an hour. 7:30, I'll be with Josh from Freeze Buyers Gaming Group, and we'll be doing the weekly hangout and hobby. I'm going to be building the rest of a line, so if you are interested, it's a good laugh. We just waffle and ramble, and it's always a good giggle. So, you know, if you're about, please do pop in. But look, that's it from me. I always like to say hello to people from the future who are watching this live later on. Hi. That's how I'm doing it. You know, I would always consider myself a very amateur in this type of thing. So, you know, if I can do it, hey, so can you. I do hope that helps. But look, that's it for me in this one. The usual blah, 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 like, whatever, subscribe, drop a comment. It helps out massively. Thanks for everyone that did stop by and watching. And yeah, I'll see you all, in an hour, but I'll see you all soon. God bless and take care.